Hello everyone, Britton here, and today I'm back with a new video where I'm going to be talking about another book. Today I'm going to be covering A Drink Before the War, the debut novel of Dennis Lehane. Now, I've said for a while that, in my humble opinion, Dennis Lehane, for my money that is one of the best crime fiction authors working today, and A Drink Before the War is one of those books that proves why. He manages to combine that classic noir feel with much more grounded, realistic characters and situations and a much more modern perspective, if you will. He also writes with a lot of feeling that I really enjoy. Especially you'll find it in some of his best work like Gone Baby Gone, Darkness Take My Hand, which is the next book after this one, and the one I completed just this January, Mystic River. But A Drink Before the War is a really strong debut from Dennis Lehane. It's a strong start to his PI series, the Kenzie and Gennaro series, which is like I said, a PI series. It's about Patrick Kenzie and Angie Gennaro. They've known each other for a long time, and they are partners in solving crime. I almost said partners in crime, but I guess that wouldn't really be, I guess that really wouldn't make a lot of sense. But I really enjoyed this. This was a really good book. I really love how Lehane makes the world of Boston, Massachusetts come to life, because he is a Boston native. He is from there, and you can definitely feel the sense of despair and economic ruin that is in this city, and you can definitely sense it from the desperation of many of the characters who are in the novel, especially from Kenzie and Gennaro. Like the best of noir protagonists, Gennaro and Kenzie are dealt with a world that is constantly growing darker by the day, as it seems, and they're trying their best to try and do some good in it, but they're really doing the best they can, and sometimes they don't catch everybody. But I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was really good. Lehane manages to write a lot of... He does know how to write a pretty sentence, and he also writes with a lot of feeling. He might not be the most polished author, but he definitely knows how to hit you right in the feels, and he is a very gifted storyteller as well. I am definitely looking forward to the novel he will be putting out this year. I forget the name, but it's coming out, and I am definitely going to be getting it, and hopefully reading it at some point, because Dennis Lehane is legitimately that good, and you guys should go check out his work. It's really good. But back to The Drink Before the War. I really enjoyed this book. The characterization is very strong. Kenzie is a very entertaining protagonist. He has plenty of smart-ass things to say, which is surprising. Lehane is surprisingly funny, despite how dour he can be. But Kenzie has a lot of great lines, and in this, as well as in the rest of the series, which I do hope to cover on this channel at some point, I even wrote a review for this exact book on Goodreads. I'll link that below. But I really enjoy how Lehane creates a lot of conflicting emotions. He isn't afraid to go dark, but he's also not afraid to be tender and funny, which I appreciate, because, you know, I really enjoy reading that. But also, let me get a drink here. The neat thing about Lehane is that this man can craft a very engaging mystery, and the mystery in this book is very engaging, very twisty, often toys with your expectations, and I really love how Lehane wraps up his mysteries. They're always really satisfying. They're always just... It's the real deal, man. He can create an engaging mystery that is engaging throughout the story, and then he can just wrap it up in a little bow, and then, you know, there you go. It's done now. And he is really gifted at that. I really enjoyed the fact that he can create an engaging mystery and manage to pay it off in such a satisfying manner. Now, of course, this book does have the hallmarks of a first-time author. not everything is fine-tuned yet. You can definitely tell that Lehane is still trying to find his voice as this book is moving along. I will say a lot of my favorite parts, one of my favorite bits was the beginning. I really enjoy the little beginning. My earliest memories involve fire. I watched Watts, Detroit, and Atlanta burn on the evening news. I saw oceans of mangroves and palm fronds smolder in napalm as Cronkite spoke of lateral disarmament in a war that had lost its reason. Great. I love it. And I really enjoy how Lehane really hits you in the heart, you could say. Not really a lot for me to say. I mean, Lehane's reputation kind of speaks for itself, and I'll admit this is not one of his best books, but it is still a damn fine book. But going back, I'm going on a tangent here. Another thing I really enjoyed about this book is that there was a surprising amount of very engaging social commentary in this. Often about the racial tensions that are in the United States and have sadly remained prescient to this day. Lehane manages to... that could have easily gone into really hammy and preachy territory. But luckily, Lehane does it in just such a grounded enough tone and a human enough tone to where it works. And I really enjoy how they deal with it. He never gives any easy answers, and none of the characters in the story find any easy answers. But I really enjoy how Lehane deals with the racial tensions. I also enjoy how poverty often breeds violence, poverty often breeds desperation, and desperation often breeds violence. He deals with that a lot in his work, and A Drink Before the War explores that quite a bit. There's also a bit of political corruption in this book. But there's also a lot of entertaining characters in this. I especially was fond of Bubba. He's basically their crazy, psychotic friend who loves blowing shit up, and as it's put in the book, he hates basically everyone that isn't Patrick Orangi. And he's a fun character. He's an interesting guy. Maybe not a guy I would like to hang out with on the one hand, but man, he's fun to read about. I really enjoy this book, though. A Drink Before the War is a very strong debut. There's not really much else for me to say. It's a really good book. I think that Lehane is a very talented guy. And if you really want a taste of his style, I would either start with this, or The Drop, or Shutter Island, maybe. But, yeah, this book is really good for a start. I mean, you could read all of the Kenzie and Gennaro books. You could read them all, and they're all standalone, though I will admit it does spoil what happens in this book, so if you, cut around, it's just going to spoil stuff. But they're all standalone stories, and this one is a standalone story. You could just read it on its own, and you'd probably, get the gist of what's going on. This was a surprisingly really quick read. Lehane has some very clean prose, and I really like how he creates very readable, easy-to-read prose. I managed to get through, 100 and something pages a day. It was ridiculous. But, yeah, his stuff is always readable. It's always fast-paced, and there's nothing that feels, preachy or uberly, on the nose or anything like that. There's nothing... This is a very clean book. There is no purple crap in this. And don't get me wrong, there are people who can do purple prose very well, but Lehane doesn't waste any time with that crap. Luckily, he doesn't just do the tough wise guy stuff. It's, Patrick is actually a very relatable man. He deals with a lot of relatable problems, and I like that in this book he's just a guy. He's not an unstoppable badass. He's just a really smart guy. He's very talented at what he does. But anyway, I enjoyed this book. I think this book is really good. And if you're a big crime fiction nut like I am, what the fuck are you doing? Read this. It is fantastic. Dennis Lehane is probably one of the best crime writers working today. he genuinely has a gift for creating interesting characters and creating really in-depth mysteries. But yeah, I'm a big crime fiction buff. If you're a crime fiction buff with your salt and you haven't read Dennis Lehane, go do it. But yeah, I think that's all I got for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Check out my Twitter, Goodreads, Letterboxd. I write a lot on there. You'll see a lot of my opinions. You'll see written stuff. It's probably better than the review you just saw right now. Go check out my Discord. Come talk to me. It is free of charge. You can just come, hang out with me, talk with me. There's literally, it's fucking crickets over there right now. So, yeah, check it out. Give it a look. But yeah, I've been Britton, also known as Smoky Dude. I hope you guys enjoyed this little video I've made here today. I will see you guys later. Goodbye.